Are you one of those people whose dream is to travel around the world? Travel with friends or family or even alone? Well, check out these dream destinations that you will surely love, not only to see, but to also learn their history. Now, let's start! Hello and welcome to Luxury Premier, the ultimate destination for dreamers pursuing insight. And if you're here with us, it's not a coincidence that you are watching this video. Here in Luxury Premier, we only want what is best for you. May our videos inspire you and hope that all of your dreams may come true. The man-made travel wonders of the world in 2022. St. Peter's Basilica. The Basilica di San Pietro in Vaticano was constructed between 1506 and 1626 on the site of an Emperor Constantine the Great's cathedral. According to legend, Peter's grave was located in this church. Bramante, Raphael, Antonio del Sangallo, Michelangelo, and Carlo Maderno were among the designers who worked on St. Peter's Basilica because it took so long to complete. Gian Lorenzo Bernini is responsible for many of the basilica's embellishments. The basilica's dimensions, 136 meters high and 186 meters wide, are one of its most impressive features. You can also check out these attractions: La Pieta, Bernini's 1633 bronze baldachin, the bronze figure of Peter, the choir of the Cathedral de San Pietro, and the crypts with the 148 popes. Under the Vatican, there exist excavations of an ancient necropolis. Only 250 persons are allowed to view these excavations of the Roman burial site with the Apostle Peter's grave, St. Peter, each day. People who get claustrophobic should avoid this. Tower of London. The Tower of London is a popular tourist site in the United Kingdom. The fortress's intimidating structure, the wardens who protect it day and night, and the threatening birds that fly overhead all contribute to an atmosphere that is difficult to match. The tower was built in 1066, making it approximately 1,000 years old, and many of the portions that are still standing date back centuries. There have been many renowned inmates held here. The most well-known is Anne Boleyn, King Henry VIII's second wife and the lady who led England to secede from the Roman Catholic Church. Other tower detainees include Thomas More, a lawyer, and Renaissance humanist Samuel Pepys, a famous diary writer, and Catherine Howard, King Henry VII's fifth wife. Beheadings and torturing of prisoners were widespread here. At the end of World War II, Rudolf Hess was imprisoned here. There's no danger of losing your head today, but there's more to the Tower of London than meets the eye when it comes to things to see. Leaning Tower of Pisa. The Bell Tower, or Campanile, is a more accurate name for the Tower of Pisa. The Pisa Tower is one of 4 towers that make up the Campo dei Miracoli, or Piazza dei Miracoli, or Field of Miracles, a cathedral complex in Pisa, Italy. The cathedral, or Duomo di Pisa, was the first structure at Campo dei Miracoli, Pisa. It stands on a white marble pavement and is an exceptional example of Romanesque architecture. The baptistery, located about west of the dome, was the next structure to be erected. The cemetery, Campo Santo, was created before the Campanile was completed. Pisa's Piazza dei Miracoli is Italy's most magnificent collection of Romanesque architecture. The cathedral, with its oddly Islamic dome and similar domed baptistery, rises from an emerald green lawn, clad in gray and white striped marble and adorned with columns and arches. The tower's foundations were pumped with cement grouting in the 1920s, which helped to stabilize the structure. Due to consolidation work, travelers were not allowed to climb the stairway within the tower until recently. However, the Leaning Tower of Pisa is now open to the public and is one of Italy's most popular tourist sites. The Zen Rock Garden of RYOANJI. The most famous rock garden in Japan is located in RYOANJI Temple, which attracts hundreds of people every day. Originally an aristocrat's residence during the Heian period, the site was turned into a Zen temple in 1450 and is part of the Rinzai sect's Myoshinji school, whose head temple is just a kilometer to the south. The fact behind RYOANJI's famous rock garden are less certain. The garden's building date is unknown, and there are several theories on who designed it. The garden is made out of a rectangular area of pebbles, encircled by low earthen walls, with 15 rocks arranged in tiny groups on mossy spots. The fact that at least one of the rocks is always obscured from view from any vantage point is an interesting component of the garden's design. The Palace of Versailles. The Palace of Versailles, or Château de Versailles, is Europe's most magnificent palace located just outside of Paris. It should be at the top of your must-see list for the City of Light, and it is easily accessible for a day trip or even a half-day visit. There is no other destination on earth that compares to Versailles Palace in terms of dazzling beauty, historical significance, and extravagant grandeur. It has been open to the public for tours since 1793 and receives over 15 million visitors each year. When you see Versailles, you won't be surprised to learn that when he built it, Louis XIV set France on the path to eventual bankruptcy and revolution. It's difficult to believe that this vast estate, worthy of the Sun King, as Louis was known, began as a humble hunting lodge. You can also enjoy 21st century entertainment and culture, such as paddle boats in the canal basin, music, art, and the musical gardens, musical fountains, events, which include a magnificently lighted version with fireworks on Saturday nights. The London Eye. London Eye, originally Millennium Wheel, revolving observation wheel or Ferris wheel in Lambeth. The London Eye was the world's highest Ferris wheel from 1999 until 2006, with the Star of Nanchang in China overtook it. It's one of London's most popular paid attractions and is credited with reviving Ferris wheel construction globally. David Marks and Julia Barfield of Marks Barfield Architects entered the London Eye in a 1993 competition sponsored by the Sunday Times and Great Britain's Architecture Foundation. Marks and Barfield developed the proposal independently and found the spot for the wheel. British Airways contributed much. The wheel was assembled horizontally above the river in 1998 before being raised. Prime Minister Tony Blair launched the London Eye on December 31, 1999. Although its first paying passenger didn't arrive until March 9, 2000. Because of its popularity, it was maintained after 5 years. In 2006, LED lighting was added to highlight the wheel at night. British Airways, Marks Barfield, and Tussauds Group originally owned the London Eye. 2006 marked Tussauds' sole ownership. Tussauds was sold to the Blackstone Group, which merged the London Eye into Merlin Entertainments. Alcatraz. The Rock is Alcatraz Island in San Francisco Bay, California. The 22-acre or 9-hectare island is 2 kilometers offshore. Lieutenant Juan Manuel de Ayala dubbed the island Isla de los Alcatrazes or Isle of the Pelicans in 1775. Alcatraz, sold to the U.S. in 1849, had California's first lighthouse in 1854. The first permanent army detachment arrived in 1859. 1861, military offenders were sent to the island. Later, detainees include 19 Hopi Indians from Arizona who quietly resisted assimilation and American soldiers fighting in the Philippines in 1900. The island became a military prison in 1907. Instead of severe convicts, Alcatraz now welcomes tourists to its historic grounds. Since 1973, almost 1.4 million individuals have visited Alcatraz. Disneyland. Disneyland in Anaheim, California features Walt Disney's characters, attractions, and entertainment. Sleeping Beauty Castle, patterned after Germany's Neuschwanstein Castle, is an American icon. Disneyland is Walt Disney's only theme park. Disney planned a backlot tour, including a train ride through a village set in an amusement park for his employees' children in the 1940s. In 1952, he launched WED Enterprises to construct and build the studio amusement park. The antagonism of Burbank City officials toward the studio project led him to choose a tract of land in rural Anaheim instead. This wider plot allowed Disney to transform his park into Disneyland's huge movie set. ABC helped finance the project in exchange for the right to produce a weekly Disney TV show and a percentage of the park's income. The building was finished on July 17, 1955. The park's design and architecture reflect Disney's nostalgia and fantasy. Main Street, USA, modeled on Disney's hometown of Marceline, Missouri. Fantasyland, based on Disney animated films. Adventureland, a jungle-themed area. Frontierland, with a Mark Twain riverboat. And Tomorrowland, an optimistic vision of the future. Subsequent additions were New Orleans Square, based on the southern U.S. city. Bear Country, subsequently renamed Critter Country, featuring the Country Bear Jamboree and Splash Mountain, and Mickey's Toontown, based on cartoon animation. 1957 to 1961 saw the short-lived Holidayland. The Anaheim site also includes Disney's California Adventure, which opened in 2001, and 3 hotels. Disneyland attracted international visitors. By 2000, 14 million people visited the park annually. The Moai of Easter Island. Easter Island's iconic Moai statues are megaliths. Rapa Nui's people created the Moais during 1400 to 1650 AD. Easter Island heads are well known. This myth comes from images of statues partially covered with soil in Ranu Raraku. All heads have bodies. Around 1,000 statues weigh up to 86 tons and are 10 meters tall. However, the average is half that. 95% of Moais came from Ranu Raraku. This area was chosen because Moais from this volcano is made of tuff. Tuff is compressed volcanic ash and is easy to carve, which was important because the inhabitants had no metal tools, only toki. Moai statues honored chieftains and other notable persons. They were put atop ahu, tombs for the statues' subjects. The Moais were made to resemble the person they represented. The statues were carved by one group. The buying tribe paid in bulk. Sweet potatoes, poultry, bananas, mats, and obsidian tools are traded. Since a larger monument costs more, it shows that the tribesmen are clever and hardworking enough to pay. The statue's eye holes weren't carved until it arrived. In later years, a pukaw of red scoria, stone from Puna Pao, was placed on the statue's head to represent the deceased long hair, which was a sign of mana or mental ability. Coral eyes would complete the Moai's Arya aura or living face. The deceased spirit would watch over the tribe and provide good prosperity. Because of this, Mai statues exist. Many people believe aliens made the Moai monuments. Oral stories say Rapa Nui made the statues. The farther sculptures are from Ranu Raraku, and the higher their final destination, the smaller they are because they were dragged there. Check out part 2 of this video for the rest of your life. We'd like to thank everyone who has stayed with us this far. Despite the fact that we have never met, please know that we respect and admire you for choosing to be here today. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us, dreamers. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos.